Good morning, good evening to all the participants. My name is Rajiv Pillai from India Smart Grid Forum. I have the pleasure of welcoming you all to this workshop on live line maintenance for utilities. So as most of you know about it, Ministry of Power last month in January issued a order with customer rights, new electricity rules for ensuring certain customer rights. One of the main topic here is regarding the outages. Unplanned, unscheduled outages need to be compensated. Earlier also, some of the regulatory commissions had issued order for outages, compensating the customers for outages, but now this rule, this is applicable all across India. They've already notified, and this will have huge impact on utilities, particularly the distribution utilities who have been taking shutdown for small maintenance work. Hotline maintenance is a very evolved maintenance regime which utilities around the world has been using, practicing, and in India our transmission companies, including Power Grid Corporation and many other transmission corporations across the country, they have been using live line maintenance, including 400 kV, 765 kV line, insulator changing, and many other work they've been doing. But unfortunately, despite several attempts, several initiatives, none of the distribution companies are using it on 11 kV line or low voltage line. This order from Ministry of Power making it mandatory for all of them to bring down the shutdowns. So they have to graduate to a live line maintenance regime for which there are enough of technology tools available. And from ISGF, we have been advocating this for a long time, and we would now call upon all the discoms that they should make a plan, a roadmap, a strategy for live line maintenance and estimate their expenses, what is required for acquiring hotline maintenance tools, and submit it to their respective regulators. This is that's only to comply with the Ministry of Power order. And if you don't do that, your expenses for tools and tackles and training of your crew is going to be much lesser than the penalties each one of you may be incurring in the coming years. So it's high time, the clarion call time is for all the discoms to move on to hotline maintenance regime. So we have invited, we have a hotline training center in Bangalore, which is part of the NPTI, National Power Training Institute. So Director HLTC, Hotline Training Center Bangalore, is here. He'll be making a presentation. We also requested Altec. Altec is almost kind of 99% market in the world. For several decades they enjoy for the insulated trucks and other related tools for bare hand methods, working on all voltage levels. So we invited Mr. Timothy self to make a presentation, and it's very late, pretty late in the night, 12:30 for him, already in East Coast US. He's awake and in the room. So I will welcome all the participants. We have Director from OPTCL from Orissa, Mr. BB Mehta. We have Shantanu Sen from CESE Calcutta. We have Amit Mudgal from Shakti Sustainable Energy Foundation. We have Ashok Kumar, who is the Director Technical from BESCOM. We also have Mr. Krishnamurthy, CGM Operations from BESCOM. We have Pradeep Lohani from BSES Yamuna Power. We have Naresh Sardana from member Haryana Electricity Regulatory Commission. We have a couple of more people, Mr. DK Sharma and other senior officers from discoms from across the country. So I will first invite Mr. Venu, Director HLTC, to make a presentation that will be followed by himself. Over to you, Venu sir. You can go on the projection mode. Yeah, now then it's good. Yes, over to you, sir. You can speak now. We can see the slides.
Very good morning, sir. All of you. Very good morning to all of you. I'm K.S. Venu Babu, Director, Hotline Training Center, a unit of National Power Training Institute, which is an apex body for training in power sector, established long back by the Ministry of Power, Government of India. About HLTC, we are located in Bangalore, Karnataka, India. This is the oldest institute under NPTI. This is the only institute of its kind in Southeast Asia, established in the year 1958 under Ministry of Power, Government of India. We are trained personnel from many power utilities, not only from India, from Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, and some African countries like Togo, Benin, etc. We are in the outskirts of Bangalore at a Somanhalli Gate, it is called, on a national highway connecting Tamil Nadu to Bangalore, to Coimbatore. We are adjacent to 220 kV substation of KPTCL and a 400 kV substation of Power Grid Corporation of India Limited. We share just a boundary wall with them. The year of starting of Hotline Training Center was in 1958. Government of India has taken a bold step in the very early stages of independent India. This was started in 1958, and there was a slight that time the trainees finished the training of people. Then briefly it was closed for some time. Then it was reopened in 1975 at Pinya, another end of Bangalore, in the KPTCL campus. Then inauguration of HLTC at its permanent complex, where we are staying now, is at Somanhalli Gate, around 30 kilometers from the city and about 60 kilometers from the airport. So we have full-fledged facilities over here in this campus. Initially, this was under the Central Electricity Authority under Ministry of Power, Government of India. Later, in the year 2002-3, we have merged with the National Power Training Institute, an apex body for training in power sector. Then we have infrastructure. We are in 57-acre land. We do have experimental training yard consisting of poles, towers of different configurations from 11 kV to 400 kV, and we have a 220 kV substation in our campus. Imported tools for carrying out hotline operations on transmission lines and substations up to 400 kV using hot stick and bare hand techniques. The tools have been imported way back. HLTC campus consists of office with classrooms, computer lab, library, conference hall, trainees hostel, and canteen with guest room with 24/7 security, all full-fledged at one place. And experimental lines of KPTCL and power grid nearby for 220 kV and 400 kV operations to carry out the operations. We have an ambulance for emergency in case of during the training. The ambulance will be always kept ready for any unforeseen situations. Then HLTC has sufficient tools imported from various reputed hotline tools manufacturers to conduct the training programs in using hot stick method, bare hand method. Hot stick method is used up to 220 kV. Bare hand operation, it is used up to 400 kV on transmission lines and switch yards. We are making consistent efforts to bring latest tools and equipment for training whenever they are introduced in the market. The fast developing power system calls for least interruption in power supply and increased system stability. Efficient operation and maintenance of power system networks can play a vital role in shaping the economy of any country. For that, operation maintenance, efficient operation maintenance, LLMT practices will go a long way. Certain power utilities in India have adopted LLMT practices very early, and they have reaped a lot of benefits in economic terms as well as the availability of the power in uninterrupted power. People who have not adopted yet some utilities, compared to them, the people who have adopted LLMT have reaped good benefits. Power utilities can save a lot of money by adopting to LLMT practices rather than shutting down the transmission lines and switch yards for maintenance purpose. Generally, the shutting down should not be for simple maintenance practices. It should be for anything which cannot be done in live line. Most of the hotline, most of the maintenance works can be performed with LLMT, though there may be some exceptions. Safe operation is ensured because there is no time constraint. We are not switched off the power. We are not shut down any line. We are doing on while the power is on, energized lines. So there is no time constraint. We can take our own time. Whereas in a cold line, there is always a pressure on the operators, linemen, etc., to finish off the job as early as possible so that the power supply can be restored. Then live line maintenance techniques, LLMT training using hot stick method. These are the programs we are offering at our institute. 11 kV, this is a basic course, 11 weeks basic course, up to 220 kV. From 11 kV to 220 kV, we offer the training. This is the basic course actually. People who have undergone this course, then they can go for the advanced course up to 400 kV, which is a 5 weeks duration. Then switchyard maintenance techniques is there. Once the basic course is done, then they can go for either bare hand or switchyard or both, depending on their requirement. But this is the basic course where all the clearances, the distances, the practice of all the tools, etc., will be taught. Then after the switchyard of course is adopted. Maintenance is done using both bare hand and HSM, hot stick method. Then live line punctured insulator detection. This course is conducted both at institute level and also at on-site. This is of 1 week duration. For this, this is called PAD course. Then we have live line insulator washing conducted normally at on-site, depending on the requirement of the customer. This is conducted for 1 week again. Capsule course we have introduced some time back to give some insight into the hotline activities for the executives who actually sponsor the people or depute the people for our training programs at Hotline Training Center. They should have some understanding of what exactly the hotline is, activities are, so that they can better understand and depute the people for training, like linemen, engineers, etc. Then cold line training has been started late, around 10 years back only, based on the demand of the people, demand of the utilities. This is conducted for 4 weeks, up to 400 kV we conducted. We do have the full trailer of cold line tools for conducting the cold line tools maintenance. Then we often conduct seminars, workshops and webinars to share our knowledge and experience of the utilities, etc. Then, what are the objectives of hot stick method? Hot stick method, the people are working at a zero potential. They will be away from the live line, in the sense they will be only using the sticks which are heavily insulated, made of epoxy glass, and they will be using the sticks and they work keeping safe clearance from the energized lines. So the power is on. To highlight the importance of operation and maintenance of HV, EHV power, HV and EHV power transmission lines utilizing hot stick method. It is called HSM, hot stick method. To give an introduction to bare hand techniques of live line maintenance, this also we do in the hot stick method. 11 kV changing of insulators is in process. We conducted programs for Sri Lanka. Some Sri Lankan people also can be seen working. Then this is the tension of a 33 kV line, tension line, using the hot stick method. Utility platform, ladder, and other things are seen here. Then this is the 66 kV suspension line, again using the hot stick method. This is the tension line, 66 kV tension line. We bring the insulators as if there is some problem, some insulator damage, like, and take back the insulator. This is the exercise we practice. Initially, we take it as a okay. I'll tell you. Then this is the 220 kV tension line operation. Different phases of training. They are theory and safety awareness. First, safety awareness is created among the people. A bit of theory is also there. First, safety classes are taken so that they will not commit mistakes in the practical work. Then practice on cold lines. Initially, the lines are not charged, so that the trainees can become comfortable with using the tools, etc. Then practice on 11 kV charge lines. The lines are, once the cold line phase is over, the lines are charged with 11 kV, so that it is a deterrent for the trainees. Oh, this line is charged, so we have to be careful like that. Then in the last stage, final stages of the last leg of the training, we take them to the commercial lines on actual voltage of KPTCL or power grid, depending on the voltage level. Up to 220 kV, normally they are given practice on the Karnataka Power Transmission Corporation Limited lines. For 400 kV, we take them to the power grid PGCL lines. Hands-on training for all participants is ensured. Every trainee has to work at a different or all the places on the tower. That is ensured. Then, as a extra information, we make them conversant with the first aid practice, then firefighting, etc., to give them some knowledge on these systems. Then study tours to certain important substations or transmission line locations also are arranged, so that trainees do have the opportunity to visit different configuration towers, etc. So engineering and supervisory staff, who are all the participants, they can undergo training here. Engineering and supervisory staff up to the level of executive engineer also, we are trained from lineman onwards. Linemen and technicians, central, state, and private power utilities of India and other countries engage in operation maintenance of transmission lines and switchyards. LLMT using bare hand method. After the HSM, the bare hand HSM is up to 220 kV, as I told you. LLMT using bare hand method, this is adopted for 400 kV, about 220. But in other countries, it may be not 400, maybe slightly less. Then 400 kV, in India, we use 400 kV to provide in-depth approach and technical know-how for live line maintenance using bare hand method. Bare hand method, as the name indicates, a couple of people, one or two people may be sitting on the conductor and charged actually with that voltage, line voltage, and they have to keep distance, clear distance from any conducting material which is at a lower, slightly lower potential also, leave alone the ground potential. To highlight the importance of operation and maintenance of HV, VHV power transmission lines, substations using bare hand method, we use this program. The duration is 5 weeks. Earlier program HSM, I told you it's 11 weeks. Then course outline, general principle, then a bit of theory, then introduction to maintenance of power lines using bare hand method. Safety aspects are given more importance. Then initially the cold line practice, then actual voltage level 400 kV. Then substation maintenance using LLMT, using both bare hand and HSM. These are the people using the suit, bare hand suit. This is the conducting suit, as all of us know, with conductive shoes. All have been imported from other countries long back, and we do maintain the safety. Safety of the people are taken care, duly taken care. This is the 400 kV tension operation, which takes a very long time to for operation, about 4 hours or so. We are carrying out these things meticulously, without flawlessly rather, without any incident, etc. Because any incident happens in the hotline operation, will take back the technology to around 5-6 years, because people will not come forward to take up the job. In addition to this, people are we strongly recommend that people should be given some kind of incentive to motivate them to come forward for the high-risk job or challenging job. This is the suspension operation of 220 kV. Oh, sorry, 400 kV. The insulator is being brought down. And in switchyard also, we do practice hotline and practice hotline techniques. This is a bare hand method using the ladder, insulated ladder. Person will reach the reach at height and do the operation. This is a scaffolding. Scaffolding again made up of the epoxy glass tools. So people will reach up to the flyover bus, etc. They can comfortably go there. This has been fixed on rails, and this can be moved this way, that way. So what is the demand? What is the requirement? All the requirements of substations and the power lines can be met through these maintenance techniques. And washing, live line insulator washing. While the substation, all the equipment is in energized condition, we undertake the washing technique. For washing, as we know, the demineralized water is being used at a very high pressure, the prescribed pressure, and the orifice size, etc., the distance to be maintained. All these are factors for the washing. All these factors should be meticulously followed. The water resistance should be very high, as at the same time, resistance high means the conductivity is very low. So the water quality makes matter. The quality should be meticulously maintained, and the distance from the nozzle tip to the actual place where we are washing, that distance has to be maintained. The nozzle size has to be maintained. All these are factors that affect the washing of insulators, live insulators. Then a due assessment is carried out, because without assessment, trainees may not show much of interest. The assessment will be made continuously, as the work on the job also is there. At the end of the program also, we do assess them, and only people who are not interested in the work will be prompted to learn the work, so that they do not commit any mistake after going back to their places. And finally, also we do have an assessment, objective assessment, etc., so that we are sure that person going from this training institute will be confident enough to work without committing any mistakes. Then many of the Indian clients, in India, we can say anybody who is working on the hotline would have been trained by our institute. And Southeast Asia, as I told you, this is the only institute of its kind in Southeast Asia. Some of the Indian clients I have mentioned here, PCL, BBMP, TAPS, DVC, these are the central power utilities. The state power utilities are KPTCL, Epitransco, Epigenco, Tantransco, Tangetco, which are under TNEB, Tamil Nadu State Electricity Board earlier, Mahatransco, Maharashtra, GETCO, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, MPPTCL, HPPNL, Haryana, CSPTCL, Chhattisgarh, KSEB, Kerala, Tata Power, Reliance Power, Adani, all these are private players in the private utilities. We have conducted courses for all these people, and they have been working on hotline effectively, efficiently. And some of the foreign clients we have, Bangladesh Power Grid Corporation Limited, we have trained them in the year 2005. Ceylon Electricity Board, we trained them around 35 years back, and again in 2010, we trained 2 batches. Then Benin and Togo, West African countries, they have come for training. We have trained them as recent as 2-3 years back. Afghanistan, Oman, etc. We have conducted small training programs. From other Gulf countries also, we train people on for short period. The contact details of our National Power Training Institute, Hotline Training Center, which is working under Ministry of Power, Government of India. We are placed at, as I told you already, Somanalli, outskirts of Bangalore. Our phone number, then email, etc. We have a website npta.gov.in maintained by our corporate office. Then www.hltc.in, that is our HLTC website. Fax, then director HLTC@gmail.com, that is our email. Photos. If I have time, I will just show you some a corporate film of 10 minutes duration. Can I show?
Sure, you can take another 5 minutes, sir.
Power is one of the important parameters of any economy. The electrical power is transmitted along the length and breadth of the country through EHV transmission lines to switchyards at various system voltages before being delivered to the consumer. Earlier, the power utilities used to shut down the power supply for carrying out maintenance work on transmission lines and switchyards. This resulted in inconvenience to the consumer and revenue loss to the utilities. Since the demand outstrips the supply, the shutdowns are not appreciated. Hence, the lifeline maintenance work is carried out without interrupting the power supply. This ensures continuity of supply and prevents economic losses to the utilities.
Hotline Training Center of NPTI is located at Bangalore. It is the first institute of its kind in Asia which is imparting training in hotline maintenance techniques of transmission system up to 400 kV level through hot stick method and bare hand techniques. Here the engineers and supervisors, they are given training as to how they should do maintenance of the transmission line up to 400 kV level even when the transmission line is charged. This reduces the downtime of the transmission system, increases its availability, and thus more power becomes available to the end customer.
The Hotline Training Center, HLTC Bangalore, is one of the 9 units of the National Power Training Institute, NPTI, which is an apex body for human resource development in the power sector. NPTI is an ISO 9001-2000 and ISO 14001-2004 certified organization under the Ministry of Power, Government of India. HLTC has been serving the nation, offering state-of-the-art training on liveline maintenance techniques, LLMT, for over 4 decades. HLTC conducts the hot stick method, or HSM, up to 220 kV, and the bare hand method, or BHM, on 400 kV training, which are broadly used in liveline maintenance of transmission lines. These methods enable the maintenance personnel to work on high voltage lines without disrupting the power transmission. These hotline training courses offered at HLTC have been the best source of high skill-based knowledge for technical personnel of power utilities. HLTC has a training yard consisting of experimental lines at different voltage levels from 11 kV to 220 kV, 400 kV, and an experimental 220 kV switch yard. The highly sophisticated hotline tools have been imported from Messrs. AB Chance Company, USA, which is one of the most reputed hotlines tool manufacturers in the world, has extended international recognition to HLTC. The Institute's reputation has attracted many dignitaries from central and state governments and other countries as well. These tools are maintained and safely kept in hangars which house tool trailers. Consistent efforts are made to supplement the facility with the latest tools. Regular statutory testing of the hotline tools is carried out at CPRI Bangalore. HLTC has an ambulance for emergency medical needs during training activities, along with a bus for trainees. A team of dedicated technical faculty with vast experience in hotline training activities and a highly efficient supporting staff strive hard to make all training programs a grand success. In the hot stick method, the insulated sticks made up of epoxy glass with metal fittings are used, maintaining sufficient distance called safe clearance from the live line by the workman. In the bare hand method, the workmen, called hotmen, wear conductive suits, reach the live conductor for carrying out the maintenance, while keeping safe clearance from ground potential. Liveline maintenance techniques using the hot stick method up to 220 kV is the basic level course that spans across 12 weeks. Liveline maintenance techniques using the bare hand method up to 400 kV lines is for a duration of 5 weeks.
See, they're sitting on that and a 400 kV line. Hello.
The switchyard maintenance using LLMT up to 400 kV is for a duration of 4 weeks, meant for personnel working in switchyards. hotline punctured insulator detection course is conducted at this institute for a duration of 1 week. A 1-week on-site course on live line insulators washing is conducted against the request of the power utility. Participants of the above courses are engineers, junior engineers, technical supervisors, linemen, and so on. The participants are issued with the certificates after due evaluation. The trainees that are sponsored for the course should have prior exposure to the field and should meet the minimum physical requirement. During the various phases of the training program, safety of the trainees is given utmost priority. Personal protective equipment and devices such as helmets, safety belts, safety shoes, and safety goggles are required to be worn by the trainees. As a part of the training, participants are exposed to first aid and fire safety classes. HLTC has a well-furnished hostel with boarding facilities and recreation activities for the trainees. HLTC has high-profile clients from central power utilities like Messrs. PGCIL, BBMB, and TAPS, from the state power utilities like AP Transco, Mahatransco, APTCL, GETCO, MP Transco, Chhattisgarh SEB, TAN Transco, TANGETCO, and KSEB. The private organizations like Tata Power, Reliance Power, NDPL, Torrent Power, and private hotline maintenance contracting companies also avail the training facilities. These happen to be just a few. Apart from these, we have also trained manpower from SAARC countries like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan. The upgradation of infrastructure facilities to meet the demand of the power sector to maintain higher voltage systems like 765 kV AC lines and switchyard, 500 kV DC lines, and hotline tools testing facilities are envisaged. The vision of HLTC is to become the global leader in live line maintenance training. This will facilitate the availability of more hotline trained manpower in the power sector to maintain uninterrupted power supply. The Hotline Training Center, Bangalore, happens to be the only institute of its kind in India and Southeast Asia. And 4 decades of successful service to the power sector.
A message देखो इनका. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for this presentation. Most of the people who are making use of the HLTC currently are distribution companies. Sorry, the transmission companies. We need to bring the distribution companies also onto HLTC, train their crew, and start hotline maintenance at the low voltage and medium voltage grid in the country. That's a top priority. We should work together to achieve that, sir. So with that, I will now invite Tim Self to make the presentation. Over to you, Tim.
Good day. How are you? Let me.
You have the right to. You have the right to share the screen. You can share your screen.
Okay, thank you. Okay. There we go.
You can go on the projection mode. Yeah, that's right. Very good. Excellent.
Thank you. I want to say, first of all, thank you and good morning. It's actually morning now for me too. I am very honored to be here. I would like to congratulate the Hotline Training Center on a amazing history of delivering transmission hotline training there in India. With Altec, we deliver the equipment we can deliver the tools, and we can deliver the training as well. Today, we have delivered all levels of voltage live line training, but today we want to talk specifically about distribution. For a power company to be successful, the three-legged stool everybody looks at is safety, reliability, and productivity. And I believe that the Hotline Training Center has already illustrated enough the need for live line training and live line work in India, especially with the new mandates coming out. Here is a photo now when we're talking about distribution. We can see a transformer and switch change out on the left, kind of present state. But then we can look over there, our Altec units at work in Thailand. And those are similar chassis that we would have in India with our units on it doing the change out. One of the key things that I like to point out in this is the fact that the number of people and how you can reduce your labor hours per job by having the insulated aerials and insulated equipment to do the work. These are some of Altec's equipment that we have out there, trailer washers for our specialty equipment. We have cranes, digger derricks, we have rear mounted pressure diggers and aerial devices as well. Altec was founded in 1929. Altec is a leading provider in products and services in over 100 countries around the world. We have assembly locations and capabilities in India, in Russia, in China, in Australia, and many other locations. Altec has supported live line work with trucks, tools, and training already in Russia, China, Vietnam, all over the Caribbean and Central America. And when we say we've supported at various levels. Altec can provide just equipment. We can provide the equipment if we're going to do the training or the consulting with you to help you work your way for the rollout of introducing live line distribution training at your power companies. We can advise on the tools. Russia was a great example. We came in, we were with the Russian power company in Tatarstan from the very beginning. The money spent on training their employees was offset by how much we saved them on not buying unneeded tools. We learned their system, we learned how their distribution companies operated, and we advised them on the tools to put onto their trucks and saved them a large amount of money, where in Vietnam, all those tenders went 3 different directions. And Vietnam at this present day has a warehouse full of hotline tools that they are never going to take out of a box. Large waste of money. With Altec coming on board, we can help in consulting. My experience is having been a higher end helper, working all the way up to journeyman lineman, to supervisor, to operations manager, training manager, trainer. I've done just about everything at the power company in my 35 years. And it looks like you're already deciding that you need to adopt live line training at the distribution level. Altec can help provide cost benefit analysis to switching to the live line work. We can establish the requirement of trucks, tools, and training, as I've already discussed. We can help you customize what you carry and what you use on your trucks to your system to save you wasteful spending. Plan phases and transition and timing of the rollout. All of that is so important in rolling out something new. We can come in, help you select the staff to be trained. If you're wanting to do a train-to-trainer, we can help. We can work in conjunction with the training center to deliver the live line distribution, gloving training together. We can advise you on all the steps all the way along on how you're going to take. A good example of it is, I can go to a power company in the US and I can teach a 1-week gloving school, live line distribution. Those guys then go out and work with journeyman linemen who are already experienced live line workers, and they get their internship and their mentoring under these journeymen. Coming into a location where live line work is not a practice at the distribution level, we come in, we do the classroom training, we do a whole month with them of the classroom training, and then the de-energized training yard practice with coaching. We then move to an energized training yard with practice and coaching. And then on the second month, and then on the third month, we come back and we've actually picked jobs. And so our phases of training when we're delivering this is exactly the same as what the Hotline School was saying theirs are. And we can help to explain, improve, and assist in the communications to your employees for the effectiveness of the rollout. We can identify the associates to be trained. We can introduce equipment. Altec can help so that we're selecting the right people. A lot of companies will bring us in, like for instance, Russia brought us in. We helped them select 12 gentlemen that were going to be their trainers. 6 of those gentlemen were going to be classroom and training center trainers. The other 6 of those gentlemen were going to be on 2 men each on 3 live line training crews, so that after the students attended the training center and the live line training, they would then go for 3 months on a training crew where they would be mentored and interned by the field instructors. Just an example of how we can help plan some of those phases. Phase 2, live line work implementation and training. Altec can guide you in becoming self-reliant by establishing training and best practice cultures within your company. We have been doing this. I have been in the live line industry for 35 years. I specialize in distribution. I have done transmission on and off throughout my career, but most of my career was spent in distribution, whether in training in the field or in resource management. Altec is a full service entity, being able to get you in the very best of equipment, to get you in the very best and needed tools, and help you to get the very best of training. And our goal is to get you where you don't need us anymore. We want to come in and edify, strengthen, and grow and encourage you to where you can be self-sustaining with a very successful rollout of live line distribution work within India, from aerial devices, from insulated platforms, however it may be, even in remote area equipment, and help you get the most out of your labor hours with a highly mobile, highly trained workforce, able to make decisions and able to do restoration in reasonable amount of time and maintenance under the live line practices. That's all I actually have. Other question and answers that people may have. It was a rather quick presentation from myself, but we are eager and excited to come and be a part there in India. I know we have a unit over there now. I am in the middle of getting my visa to be able to travel myself, to be able to come down and do a series of live line demos on the distribution side throughout India here in the coming months. So I am excited and looking forward to meeting you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tim. Now I would invite Shri B.B. Mehta from OPTCL to present. Sir, the floor is yours. Now you can present. Yes. Hello. Sir, you have presentation rights. Now you can present.
One minute. Yes. Video.
Yeah.
Even. Who's the- Ah. Sir, are you able to see our screen?
Yes, sir. We can see your screen.
Oh, sir, ये वाला करो. Yes. I think this is now. I suppose, sir, all are able to see the screen.
Sure, sir. We are able to see.
Good morning, everybody. In fact, it was very interesting to see the detailed presentation and a video from the hotline training center of the. It is a matter of national pride for us that it is a very old and well established. Let me admit, sir, I had worked at Gujarat. Many of our engineers working the hotline has taken long training over there. There has been repeated batch also, and the knowledge imparted by them has given good fruits to the team working over there. Apart from that, sir, good session from EdTech also. They are pioneer in the field of hotline equipments and providing very good service for the people who are in the sector. Coming back to my talk, sir, the workshop on the lifeline maintenance. Sir, basically, why we need this? We have to take a call, sir. Now, what is required? Say it adds to the efficiency and reliability enhancement of the system. Because it doesn't call for any interruption. It gives an uninterrupted and in-time maintenance facility. It also optimizes the 24 by service of the electricity supply. So now the day has really come that nobody wants any sort of interruption. People, citizen, consumer needs a power at 24 by 7, and for which we need to give a reliability, we need to have a redundant network. Though all is there, sometimes it happens that we need to provide a lifeline maintenance. I understand, sir, now the days are not very far when the distribution company might have to pay back the fixed cost charges to the consumer in case of absence of their network. Because the network, there may be some norms set or SOP set by the regulatory commission. Below that, if network availability is there, and the fixed cost liability cannot continue on the consumer. So, point to intimate is the availability of network is the must. We cannot compromise on that. So, lifeline maintenance gives all this facility. It also reduces the planned outage maintenance because it is all outage requirement is addressed whereby in the lifeline only. It also increased the operational safety. So I will tell that my experience with the Gujarat, sir, there has been never any sort of accident when hotline maintenance team has worked because they are well aware that I am working on a lifeline. There are accidents when we do the outage, when we avail the outage, when we shut down the equipment and we start maintenance. But when the person knows that he's operating and he's doing maintenance on the live line, it is charged at 132 to 20 kV, etc. Then there are less chance of the any accident, and these all safety norms are meticulously, very precisely followed, and it gives the continuity of the supply to the consumer. It avoids any regulatory penalty also, which I narrated, and it also it makes immediate attention to the system problems. What are the activities we can do using the lifeline? Here, my focus, we don't have much experience on the discount side, but with respect to transport, these are the important things being done by the transmission system hotline maintenance group. It is insulator replacement or suspension on tension towers. So this is very, very important. In case of this replacement, otherwise it takes a lot of time to restore the network, but this can be done in lifeline method. Online tightening of the clamp and connector. What happens due to the weather storm, cyclone and wind? Many times the jumpers and the connectors get loose. That is being verified during the thermovision camera by the same hotline crew during night patrolling and at that time. And based on the observation on the thermovision camera, they are able to retight or add a bolt or tight the clamps and connector to have a more continuity of the network and less losses. It also used for strengthening of the dead end joints. Last joints, it has to be strengthened very properly. Sometimes we need to replace the jumper or mid-span joints. So that is also attended by the lifeline maintenance team. Also, live conductor repairs, sometimes breakage of conductor also take place. We need to put a sleeve there. Insulator hardware maintenance replacement. And sometimes using the online insulator tester. The lifeline, the hotline crew, the lifeline maintenance team do the testing of insulator also. Not much, but many times it happens that changing of the cross arm, if the cross arm gets damaged, then we don't need to take the outage of the entire line, and that can be replaced by the crew who is dedicated and specially trained for such thing. Changing of pole, changing of cross arm, and transferring conductor to the higher pole means when keeping the line on, we can transfer the conductor to the next pole also. It is also possible. What are the methods you deploy to carry out this hotline maintenance? Sir, very important and mostly used method is the hot stick or live line tool method. These are the hot stick are used in live line work by having worker remain at a specified distance. We have a chart will give the specified distance for each voltage level and carry out the work by means of insulating stick, and it creates a significant impedance between the worker and the live equipment so that hazard doesn't take place and the work is done. Generally the sticks are made of insulated fiberglass pole, FRP बोलते हैं उसको, and for fiberglass reinforced plastic and are usually filled with the closed cell form. They have an epoxy coating, and last very important is ASTM F71 confirmed standard requirement has to be followed, because this is a stick which is creating an impedance between the live object and the main work. So all no compromise on the quality or the standard. Apart from the hot stick or the live line tool, they also use the insulating gloves or the rubber gloves because when they touch the object, they electrically protected by insulating gloves and other insulating equipment, and carries out the work is in direction mechanical contact with the live part. Sometimes also there is a bare hand or the potential method is also used. Here what happens, the potential of the worker's body is raised to the voltage level of the equipment, say 130 kV, 220 kV. But proper precaution has to be taken, and his body should not be or should have enough or necessary distance clearance with other rounded part or the object of the network or the equipment. So no current should flow through the workers, and workers and the work are at the same potential. But this gives lot of flexibility for a worker to attend the job very well, because as if he is working in a dead equipment, he feels like that. Some advanced things, probably we at state level we may not have. I understand the power grid has helicopter-based live line maintenance also. Here, sir, what I understand is that a lineman wearing the Faraday suit can work on live line and being transported to the lines in a helicopter. Worker can perform maintenance sitting on an outer ring platform attached to the helicopter, and while aircraft hover next to the line and they approaching the line, in a long, and it saves a lot of time. Means, sir, suppose it is 400 kV long distance line passing through the forest to reach each and every location. It takes a lot of time. And here what happens with the helicopter is lifted to one location to other location, and this outer ring platform is attached there, and on which he can sit and attend the job very easily. The breakaway bonding wire connected to the helicopter is attached to the line during the work. Here also once again the same potential funda is also taken, that the potential of the line and potential of this should match, and so that no current should pass through this. Or alternative, worker can transport to the wires from the helicopter and crawl down the wire, then he can pick up by the helicopter after the work is completed. So these are probably the days to come in a near future for a long transmission or the inaccessible areas. Such type of technology will come, and it will be at the risk of the transmission or the restore for additional reliability and redundancy of the network. Many Western countries also go for robotic technology. That is, one is ground-based robot, other is suspended robot, or the aerial robot. It is unmanned in the helicopter, something like that. And it does all the, and it is properly insulated, so not an issue, and it is also being adopted. And ERS tower is also there, hotline tower erection is there. We have an emergency restoration tower in case of collapse of one tower, but there we make the line dead. Here it is low hotline tower conversion is also an advanced technique which is also to be followed. So this table gives some minimum power line clearance distance. Actually, this is as per the norms of the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, that what should be the voltage level and what is the safe clearance. Up to 50 kV, 50 to 200 kV, up to 350 kV, 750 to 1000 kV. As established by for over 1000 kV, there is a separate benchmark for that. So point is that this is as per the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA standards are there, and this is to be followed while doing live line maintenance also. So the equipment design should have enough length to keep this person who is on job and the live object with this distance. These are the tools which we use for this. What 6 sticks are there, sectionalizer clips are there, insulated links are there, sometimes to extend one to another, then receive hooks, discharge hooks. This is very important because when it is equal potential, then later it has to be discharged also. Insulated hand tools, cutter stick, clamp stick, short run stick, etc. So the safety guidelines are to be followed very precisely, and that is very important. The line worker should track the safe distance from the earth point as well as other phases of the line to prevent any hazards. So in the training also at the hotline training center, this is being taught very precisely. All the tools which we use for the live line maintenance, there is a standard for this: IEEE 516, IEEE 978, ASTM F2522, F711 standard, and as well as other standard depends on the specification of the tool. This has to be done very precise, and it is also taken that it is being tested also periodically. Suppose I have purchased some hot stick, I cannot continue to use for years together. I need to have a test of it whether it is under safe zone or not, any damage in the insulation media material is not. Then manufacturer rating of hotline tool should not be exceeded. A manual inspection should be performed of all live line tools, and testing of electrical strength should be implemented at site. For electrical clearance calculation, altitude correction factor should be displayed. Sometimes we say that some distance requirement, but suppose it is contour of the land is different, then we have to take the minimum distance available, and that has to be factorized properly. And we need to have certified and expert line and work are to be enriched. And line workers should obey the safety code on energized equipment. This is mandatory, sir. Apart from that, at Gujarat, sir, we have developed some hotline washing method also. Line water washing switchyard, and line is carried out by pressurized DM water, dematerial mineral water, and it is a vehicle mounted entire equipment. I think in Electrama at Bangalore, before 3-4 years, we demonstrated from the Gujarat transmission. and it helps to carry out all the washing and maintenance work at the live line. Reggie sir has rightly said that I think a lot of work is done on a transmission segment. I understand the power grid has also capability and ability to do the live line maintenance at 400 kV level, even at a higher level also. But well said, sir. We need to now focus upon the last mile distribution network, 11 kV and below that, so that to minimize the outage and uptime for the consumer. Then one more thing is there's PID is there, puncture insulated detection is there. So that is being carried out by the hotline people in many states. And bare hand methods and fast jumpering work on the hot stick and replacement of the jumper and thermography of the CVT, CT, etc. for any insulated wave trap, etc. is done with the live line meters. This avoids the outage of the network. It gives the consistency, reliability. But generally, there is a practice that whenever such work is carried out, they need to inform the load dispatch or the control center, because the even auto recloser are made off in order to prevent any such large incidents or a major occurrence. So with all these things, I think I have explained what I can deliver. And I seek some question, if any, sir. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to share the views on the live line maintenance techniques. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, BB Mehta. Now we'll invite Shri Naresh Hardana from HERC. Sir, the floor is yours. Now I would request you to share your thoughts about live line maintenance. Sir, are you able to share your screen?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Are you able to share
I'm audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I joined this workshop when Mr. Sam Waltic was talking about live line maintenance. Thereafter, Mr. Mehta explained all the aspects of live line maintenance. With the adoption of all these techniques, will definitely go a long way in our improving reliability of our transmission system, and we'll be able to give 24/7 supply to our consumers as per a mandate of our Honorable PM. I'll join you again after the topics, further topics you share with me during the workshop. Thank you.
Done, sir. Thank you very much. Now I would invite Shri Krishnamurthy from BESCOM to share your experience with us.
Hello.
We can hear you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good.
So good morning, everybody. So actually, I don't have any presentation to make. Only I will like to share a few words from everybody. So here we, as BESCOM distribution company, we handle only the voltage level between 11 kV and below. present, we don't have any hotline maintenance over here. So 60K, 60K and above is being handled by KPTCL. So KPTCL has hotline divisions. So both for North and South Karnataka, we got a established hotline force in place in Karnataka who do regular maintenance of the lines and carry out any emergency breakdowns where it has to be done on an emergency basis like thing. So as far as DISCOM is concerned, we don't have any hotline hotline maintenance. So this is what I have to share a few words from DISCOM side. Hello.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's all, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I would request Shri Santanu Sen from CESC to share his thoughts.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Shantanu Sen. I am from CESC. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Yes, we are utility in Kolkata, distribution utility. We have transmission system also embedded with embedded generation. So we have 567 square kilometer of operation with maximum demand of around 2,400 megawatt. And as I told, we have distribution. We have the enhanced voltage distribution up to 220 kV, and we have 3 generating stations embedded. All the plant and equipment maintenance are being done with what we call maintenance 1.0. The old method is always there, like preventive maintenance, timely preventive maintenance of all assets. Like in the distribution sector, the LT lines, LT underground lines, 240 volt, 400 volts, and then you have that 11 kV distribution lines, distribution transformers. All the maintenance work normally done in maintenance 1.0 mode, like conventional, but we have gone for maintenance 2.0, like condition-based monitoring of our assets, like pillar box, distribution transformers, RMUs. All condition monitoring is being done, and based on the results of the condition monitoring, we go for the actual preventive maintenance, taking shutdown if required. Really, hotline maintenance in the distribution section is not happening, although utilities like us, when we have almost maximum underground cable in the 11 kV, 6 kV, we have 6 kV also, and all 33 kV lines are underground. We have very few 30 kV overhead lines and 220 kV overhead transmission lines, 130 kV overhead transmission lines, very few, but majority is underground cable. So online maintenance work, repair work in the LT level was really done by us earlier in live condition, jointing of LT cables in case of failure, but that has been stopped over the time because of safety issue. So I would like to know from you all, what are the things, the transmission line, definitely we are doing all the points mentioned by the team, the eminent speakers, like team and Venuji and other speakers also. So all are being done here also in the transmission level. But I want to know from you all some more thing on the distribution level, what advanced countries are doing. Maintenance 2.0 is basically condition-based monitoring, as I feel. This is my part on lighter tone, my feeling. And maintenance 3.0 is basically prediction of fault. If you can predict a fault, predict a breakdown, and isolate that fault, and if you can restore the supply with some other mechanism, then consumer will be happy, so that the unwanted, uninformed interruption is not there. So prediction is will be one major area of innovation in coming days. Although we are trying to predict our 11 kV underground cable faults through some artificial intelligence mode, it is under preparation, and we are working on that at a level. Fine tuning is going on. We are doing that, but in my opinion, it will take some time, prediction of breakdowns. And also the maintenance 4.0, definitely 3.0 and 4.0 would be like doing the maintenance work automatically, self-healing mode, self-learning mode. The maintenance, if something happens, the system should restore itself on its own. How will it happen? I don't know. Long way to go, and that is my point on this. And also on the condition monitoring, real-time condition monitoring, we are doing of some assets like underground cable and thermal imaging of transmission, not transmission line, the substation level, outdoor yard mainly, thermal temperature monitoring through PTZ cameras. Continuous monitoring we are doing is in one station only. So those sort of condition monitoring may help in getting the trigger when to maintain. But these are maintenance ultimately is being done taking shutdown of that particular isolator not homing properly, that is being done, taking proper shutdown and all those things. I want to really know from you all regarding distribution level, at distribution 440 volt and 11 kV level, how live line maintenance can be done without sacrificing the safety of the person who will be working. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shantanu. Now I would request Sanjay Kumar Garg, who is Head of Operation and Maintenance at BRPL. Sanjay, please take it away. Now the floor is yours.
Hello, good afternoon. Mr. Sanjay Garg is not here at the moment. I am Manish Arora. I am from BRPL only.
Welcome, Manish. Welcome.
Thank you. I hope I am audible.
Yeah.
I don't have any presentation right now, but just to tell you, like we have around 245 numbers of we have 11 kV and 33 kV and 66 kV voltage level in the jurisdiction of BRPL, and we had a demand of peak demand of 3,200 which was recorded last year against the total overall demand of around 7,000 recorded by the Delhi. We have a 750 square kilometer of area, and we have a big network of overhead feeders also, which we traditionally hired from Delhi Vidyut Board. And but nowadays most of the feeders have become underground only. And if we call it EHV 33 and 66 levels, we call it as EHV, and we have a 6 gigawatt of a capacity in EHV. And if we cable and line length is concerned, we have 1,246 kilometers of line. 11 kV, as far as 11 kV is concerned, we have around 1,500 kilometers, 1,500 numbers of 11 kV feeders, which have a line length of 2,100 kilometers and a cable length of 5,136 kilometers in the BRPL area. Well, as far as live maintenance is concerned, uh, we do only the predictive maintenance. We have started rather the predictive maintenance of the line maintenance, although um, we are taking the shutdowns only at the at present, and of course the presentations given till now are the eye opener for us. We are using the drone technology for detecting the faults in our. We have started in 66 kV network. We have covered around 7 kilometers of length. We are taking the services of some agency for this, and that survey was also an eye opener. A lot of things come out. We can get an advanced overview of faults which will happen, which are the critical faults and which are the not so critical faults of course needs immediate attention, and rest of the faults can be taken care in the planned shutdown of the lines. So this is the new thing which we are using. Of course, we are still uh, yet to have this hot stick technology, and it's I think an excellent technology, and even at the discom level, everybody should use it. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Manish. Now I would invite Mr. Pradeep Lohani, who is Vice President BYPL. Please share your thoughts, sir. Sir, you are still on mute. If you can unmute yourself.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I am Pradeep Lohani, Vice President BSCS Yamuna Power Limited. As Manish right now, Manish has described the functionality of the BSCS Rajdhani Power. We are in the same domain. We have we are maintaining the transmission line, because sub transmission line, that is 66 kV and 33 kV in BYPL area. And today's topic, that is hot line maintenance, is very relevant, because we have to maintain the reliability indexes like SAFI, SADI for system. We have to minimize the system interruptions, and the hotline maintenance will be very effective tool for us. Right now, we are carrying out only condition monitoring of our transmission line. That is hotline. That is, we are using drone technology to detect the faults in the overhead system and mapping all the parameters. And it is for future outline. I would request if we can use drone for some sort of line maintenance in future, because hot sticks are not being used right now by us, and most of the maintenance practices are based on the offlines in our system. So because I am not having any presentation right now. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would invite Shri H.R. Pandey, who is a seasoned professional into transmission. He is director Bihar Power Transmission Corporation Limited. Shri Pandey, now the floor is yours. Please take it over, sir.
Thank you, and welcome to every speaker as well as audience on this issue. This is a very relevant issue, and all the details have been explained. All the criticality have been explained by all our respectable speakers on this issue, this critical issue. There are few, because Bihar is a late entrant to the hotline works. Basically, very few work we have done. But there are few social points as well. There are other points as well, which I would like to point out as because many of the points have already been covered. As we know, we have a during last 2-3 years, we have a paradigm shift in approach and policy of energy sectors. The expectation are the highest, best quality services, and 24/7 power supply is the main concern for any government, any state or central government or any organization. So this has led to incentivization for availability of the transmission network and penalty for the outages with all safety concerns. When you talk about the availability of the transmission network, without hotline maintenance, without thinking anything, we had been working with the creation of redundant infrastructure to meet out the outages of the elements of the transmission sector, which were ultimately increasing the capital cost and the transmission charges for the utilities, ultimately costing to DISCOMs and ultimately being passed on to the end consumers. This has been raised time and again in BRC also, and by consumers and industries association as well as general public. When we look forward on the back, we had been doing this by 70% loading of the transformers, lines loading limited, N-1 compliance, N-2 compliance. And when we look at the transmission charges being charged right from 10-12% to we have reached to a cumulative transmission charges of 70%, 80%, POC charges all inclusive. So the time is to look forward for the optimum utilization of the existing infrastructure rather than creating a new infrastructure costing to the end consumers. So this is the one main cause which leads to use of hotline maintenance as I think of as of now. When we talk about Bihar, so we have already implemented SAMAS and we are doing outage management and outage management and shutdown management, these things we are doing. But as rightly last speaker has told about the predictive and preventive maintenance for the better availability of existing transmission network. Yes, the hotline system has got a lot to do about this predictive management and the preventive management, because you have to learn about the specific operational parameters of the operational lines under operations, and the expected outage in future for which you can pre-plan, and accordingly you can have uninterrupted power supply to the end users. I am in BSPTCL for more than 36 years. And when I entered into BSPTCL, there was a hotline maintenance division led by executive engineers and assistant engineers and technicians. But because we had networks of only up to 220 kV and there was not much concern about the outages, this division was ultimately closed and normal maintenance were being done. But in Bihar, we are taking all the transmission lines on the OPGW network up to 220 kV, 132 kV, and new 400 kV lines also, which we are creating now. So in those old networks, we are using the hotline method, and drones and robots are already being used for change of earthware by OPGW networks of the BSPTCL, and hopefully by 31st July, all our lines will be on OPGW network. And this experiment for BSPTCL was very, very useful. Some of the few lines we also did for conductor reconducting by STLS. In that also we used hotline methods, and this was also very, very useful. We don't have much of the experiences, and we are enlightened with the topic and the speakers right from the beginning. Sri Mehta Sahab from transmission, then Sanjay Kumar Garg Sahab, and all other speakers. This is a time when the transmission network is going to have a completely paradigm shift with the infusion of renewable energy, because your source will be changing in a day for multiple times. And you have to change to the different sources, and you have to have a transmission network for that. And loading will be differing during a particular day, as the availability of solar and other renewable is many a times about 20 to 25%. Second point of concern is in the national network as well as the state networks, intra-state lines, transmission lines, the utilization of infrastructure is still on the very lower side. So by increasing that infrastructure and maintaining their health of the infrastructure, you can increase the loading and loading patterns, and you can manage the ultimate commercial utilization of the transmission infrastructure. That is what I could share with you. And thank you for giving me an opportunity for that.
Good afternoon, good morning, Pandesab. Thank you very much for coming in. So the morning, before you joined, what I told the panelist audience is that it is high time that DISCOM should graduate to hotline maintenance. We have the right training center with all the capabilities here. And we also have transmission companies doing this all the way up to 400 kV, 765 kV area. So there is no reason for why we are not able to do that 11 kV and LT lines. So this is something need to be taken up. We have been meeting Altech at Distribute Tech. ISGF used to take a large delegation from India for various international programs, including Distribute Tech, which typically conducts every year January in US. So there we meet Altech and so many other utilities from around the world, even Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa utilities are using their insulated platform. Asia, Southeast Asia, South Asia, many places they are already using. And in India, even the private utilities from Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta have not been able to get into that game. So the last meeting which we had with Altech in January 2020, just before the lockdown, we had told them that the problem, when I talked to many DISCOMs, they say we don't have trained people. And before trained people, we cannot afford to buy tools and tackles. So it's a chicken egg situation. So even if you send people for training, they come back, they have no tools to do any work. So with this issue we discussed, and what Altech said that their distributor, they have a distributor in India, MT&T. Many of you know they have all kind of tools and tackles, they safety equipment they've been supplying to all industry, including transmission line. They said they will buy one set of or couple of sets of equipment, bring it to India, including the hot sticks and all the other tools and the insulated platform. And that will be given on rent to a utility for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. So if, for example, if BESCOM is going to take a insulated truck along with the utilities, along with all the tools and their own trained and certified crew from MT&T with the Altech equipment and AB Chance equipment, while they are working in BESCOM for 1 year, 2 sets of crew or 3 sets of crew, BESCOM's own people can be trained. And when their crew is trained, they have the confidence in using it. That's a time when they can go for buying equipment. So this is something which we want to we have discussed, and I'm very happy to say that they have taken it in very seriousness, and MT&T has already brought equipment to India. Despite all this lockdown and all that, it was in Chennai, all the testing it has passed. It is going to some CPRI testing in Hyderabad. The machine will be there next week. I am told that it will be completed next week, and the week after that, it will be brought to Bangalore to HLTC. So insulated truck and the complete tools and some set of crew will be available. And I will propose to BESCOM to do a demo sometime end of March or maybe first week of April in Bangalore. So that again, we will try to broadcast that or video also will. So this will be the beginning of a hotline maintenance in the distribution sector in the country. So all other discoms may like to take advantage of this, and MT&T is interested in the commercial terms. Each of discoms can negotiate with them how many crew, how many equipment, take it on rent, train your people, and then you go for tender and buy equipment. This is something which we can do it, and HLTC is there for the basic training. So you identify your linemen or your engineers who want to do that, send 10 people, 15 people to HLTC, get them 1 month training and put them along with the MT&T equipment and MT&T crew. And in 6 months time, they will have the confidence to do bare hand method working. For every small things, we don't need to take a shutdown. And that is exactly what the government going to monitor in the new Electricity Rules Act. And regulators will be monitoring the situation for compliance of that. So we have to graduate to hotline maintenance game. And I hope this session was useful for everybody. I think Sardana sir is here from HERC. Sir, yeah, so I'll request you to speak now. Haryana Electricity Regulatory Commission.
For Bihar,
Sardana sir, over to you.
To add on, I am in charge of training for transmission company, and I will definitely share your support and training centers with our engineers and technicians. Number one, discoms, they are doing some of the few hotline maintenance, like they are having cranes insulated with the insulated cabins and all that. I had shared the link, but due to vast and high pressure of work, I think they could not join, as far as I know. But we'll definitely share you, and the discom will also be enlightened. And we had many a times, we had thought of creating a group or hiring a group for sometimes, especially for Patna or some important towns. So we'll look forward to it, and we'll have interaction with you. Thank you.
This is
Sir, please unmute yourself, sir.
Oh, sorry, apologies. So I said this is just the beginning. The first time we are having a conversation on this topic as part of our annual event. We will be happy to organize more workshops and webinars. And even as the corona situation improves, we can have face-to-face meeting, training programs. We can bring everybody for a 1 day or 2 day workshop in HLTC. This is something which we will discuss with Venu sir and organize later in the year, maybe May, June, whatever time convenient to everybody, we will call. And we should get this started. We hope that Altec One machine, which MT&T brought that machine, one of the utilities, private utilities will come forward, or government utilities will come forward and start some work from next month at least. So Sardana sir, over to you. Everybody waiting to hear from a regulator.
I like to hear as and when this program is organized, so that transmission utility in Haryana as well as discoms can participate. And I like you to share the details with me on my email ID, so that I can ask them to participate in this. This will go a long way in improving the electricity supply, since we are in abundance as far as supply is concerned. But due to this breakdown, etc., we are not in a position to supply power to the consumers. And this will go a long way in fulfilling the dream of our Honorable PM once we go for this hotline maintenance, etc.
Very rightly said, sir. Your two distribution companies in Haryana serve international community. In Gurgaon, there are people from more than 100 countries live in Gurgaon, and many of the even people coming from much more underdeveloped countries. They say that there are no power cuts in their country. But in our NCR region, there are still power cuts. So we have to
Yes,
improve.
because of system deficiency only.
Yes, yes.
So we need to improve our system. We need to do this hotline maintenance for all this purpose, so that we are in a position, since we have a contracted power which is much more than the maximum demand.
Exactly. So when I checked with MT&T when they brought this machine, I asked the total cost of one machine which they brought along with the complete set of tools. The whole thing is less than 2 crore rupees. It is nothing. Yeah. It's a very small number for a discom. In their AR every year, if they ask for one set of tools,
and even out of the R&M budget, they are in a position to do it.
Yeah. So when we go to sub-Saharan Africa, even there, this kind of insulated trucks they are using and doing live line maintenance. And India, not a single discom has started it. So
that's why I asked you requested you to keep me informed, so that they are in a. I can ask them to participate during this program.
Yes, no, we will. I will have a better visibility next week after this. The machine has been, the tools which they brought has been tested at CPRI in Hyderabad. There's some special test it will go, and thereafter it will be in HLTC for at least a month. They will keep, or somebody hire it. It will be in HLTC. When it is in HLTC, I will discuss with the BESCOM senior management. Krishnamurthy sir is already here, and I will also talk to the Additional Chief Secretary Mr. Kabil Mohan and BESCOM MD Mr. Gowda, and then plan a proper a maintenance demonstration in BESCOM in Bangalore sometime in April, and which will be intimated to all of you, sir, all the regulatory commissions and all the distribution companies. So whoever want to come and witness, please come to Bangalore. We'll be happy to host. It will be live broadcast. Everybody can see that we are doing that. Thereafter, it can be taken up on a regular basis. So we actually wanted to get Tim also to India to come and do that demonstration. Indian Embassy is not giving visa to anybody. So I had written to the Indian ambassador in Washington DC, please give 3-4 people from Altec, please give them out of 10 special visa which they are considering. So we hope we'll be able to get him in India next month. So this will be a major milestone, and that is why, particularly, although it was we planned about this only after this electricity rules were notified by Ministry of Power in January. So we didn't have much of time to get more people onto this, but this is the beginning. This is just the beginning. We will have more such events, discussions, actual training and demonstrations in India. Every quarter we will plan this. Mr. Krishnamurthy, would you like to say something about BESCOM's interest in taking up this?
Yes, sir. Actually, compared, viewing our the large network and the revenue whatever, we need to go in for the high-tech maintenance. The KPTs are already doing it, so we have to bring it to the 11K level and at the lower distribution level also. So once you bring the demonstration, whatever you are saying, naturally we'll look into it, sir.
So Bangalore is our IT capital. Bangalore again has people from around the world living and working in Bangalore. So these are some of the places, Gurgaon, Bangalore, or some of these big cities which are really international cities, and New Delhi, of course. We need to, New Delhi, the challenges will be much less because it's a private discoms, and they will all see. Earlier nobody had told any number. Everybody thought this insulated truck will cost a bomb, and the tools will cost a bomb. It is not. And the people need to be sent abroad for training. It is not. The crew need to be sent only to Bangalore to get them trained. and we have everything here, and so we should leverage this. And as I said, the complete one set of crew for tools for a discom is less than 2 crore rupees, not even $500,000. So that's a kind of money which you spend on your regular monthly supplies for a typical discom. So we should start this in at least in the discoms which are serving state capitals and metropolitan cities. Thereafter, it will move to the rural areas as well. Tim, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll be in Bangalore next week. I'll be meeting your MD and ACS Energy, and then I'll meet you also, Mr. Krishnamurthy.
Please.
And to Tim, would you like to add anything?
Yes, I did get the approval from the consulate, and I have sent them my original documents so they can put the visa in it.
Okay.
My daughter, I give away my daughter. My youngest daughter gets married April 10th.
Okay.
So as soon as that's done, I'm ready to go. I get my second COVID shot March 15th. So I'm ready to head to India and get this ball rolling. I'm excited.
I look forward to. So back to Venu sir for your closing comments. Anybody else would like to add anything? Floor is all yours. We have actually another 30 minutes, but if nothing, nobody is speaking, then we could close. Over to you, Venu sir.
Actually, what I observed is, except some southern power utilities and from western India, north and east still remained not using the live line maintenance techniques. They are neither sending their personnel for training, nor taking much interest in the live line maintenance. In spite of our many circulars we are sending, we are not getting much of response from the northern part of India and the eastern part of India. Last year we were in Odisha, in Bhubaneswar, and West Bengal, Assam, to popularize the hotline techniques. We gave some presentations also to the concerned higher authorities and requested them to send people for hotline maintenance at Bangalore. We are yet to, in the meantime, the lockdown also affected. I hope this facility established by Government of India will be utilized by all the power utilities for development of the power system as a whole. Still, we are expecting people, but the response is not so encouraging. Because of lockdown, I feel that some response is slightly less, but we are going to establish this 765 kV training shortly, and rubber gloves method also we want to establish. So distribution sector, actually we can say it is slightly neglected area, as you pointed out. So we want to go big on, till now we are concentrated more on transmission system. We want to go further in the transmission system for 765 kV, etc. And distribution sector also should get due importance. Then only the end customer will be able to reap benefits out of this. So I request, this is a very good opportunity for everybody to put their comments, ideas, etc. This is a very good effort made by yourself, Mr. Pillai.
Thank you, sir. What I will do, we will write to ISGF, will write to Ministry of Power. So every month there used to be a RPM meeting, progress review meeting of all the discoms on all those programs which they are doing. The MOP funded programs which are going on around the country, IPDS and all other programs. There is a monthly review meeting. All the discom MDs are called. But post-COVID, I believe that meeting is taking place on the virtual platform. So we'll request the new secretary to give you a presentation slot. Many people don't know that HLTC exists even. Many of the discoms may not even know. Forget about your capability, even the very existence of HLTC, the people don't know. In their day-to-day life, they are busy. So what we will do, we'll bring it to the attention of Secretary Sir, and they will give you a 15-20 minute slot to present about HLTC and the live line maintenance in the next MOP's earliest MOP's meeting, monthly meeting, where all the discom MDs are there. When they see this itself, they will have interest and they will send their teams for training. But the other thing, demonstration of the Altec equipment for a task or a actual maintenance work in Bangalore, we will organize in definitely in April. I will intimate everybody, and thank you very much. Look forward to that.
Actually, Orissa, West Bengal, UP, Bihar, these states actually, Himachal Pradesh, these states we do send circulars, etc., but we're not getting much response. I urge people to utilize this facility established by the Government of India.
Okay. So, anybody like to say last words? Mr. Chandanusen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's interesting. Definitely, topic is interesting, and on the hotline maintenance of transmission part, we are doing. Definitely, we are also doing in Kolkata. We would like to know from the eminent speaker, Mr. Team, what has been done in advanced countries. What has been done in advanced countries in the distribution network, which is very nasty in India, and what can be done, what SOPs has to be done, and what are the innovations going on in this area for hotline maintenance, because customers has to be given supply. We are doing automation, and automation is costly, and utilities are under tremendous pressure on operational cost. So online maintenance, hotline maintenance might be very good solution without investing much money. So that would be interesting. What is going on? We want to know from eminent speakers.
Tim, would you like to answer that at the low voltage grid? What is being done?
If I'm trying to make sure I understand this question, in other countries, in Vietnam and China and Russia, China already did some levels of live line distribution work. We came and helped them more with some of their safe work procedures. Russia had nothing. We started with Russia at 0.4, worked our way up to 11 kV, helped them establish the training center, helped them establish the trainers, helped them establish the safe work practices within that country. We've done that in the Caribbean and South America, and that's it too. That's why I want to get there, so that I can understand better where the Indian distribution system is at, the struggles that they are having, and then make the suggestions from there.
No, in the United States, in the distribution system, the low voltage grid, what are all the maintenance activities you do with in the live line condition?
Everything.
Everything. No shutdown. Okay.
We change out switches, we cut in lines, we pick up wire, we change out transformers. I had a gentleman, I can't remember his name, that was at one of the conferences I was at about 3 years ago, and I took him out to watch one of our crews doing a job. He was amazed to see two gentlemen change out a transformer, its switch, and run a service to the customer, all within an hour, just two guys. It's the minimum amount of tools that they used.
Oh, we had people from Tata Power that time. I think it was in 2018, San Antonio distributor. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so 2018. We had people from Tata Power that. So
it's a good visit, but we actually do everything. I came up with Florida Power and Light in the Miami area originally. So a lot of rainy season, a lot of issues with cars and poles, a lot of issues with large expansion growth of the urban environment. So we were extending lines, we were reconductoring old lines to larger lines. We were doing voltage conversions, converting feeders from one voltage to another voltage. And then everyday general maintenance, replacing poles, replacing switches, replacing insulators, and then outage response, which is then that gets to be crazy into everything that's possible under the sun. And we work in the rain if the customers are out of lights.
Very good. Hope that you will be able to come next month, April, to India. And that time in Delhi, we will conduct a day-long workshop with actual videos of different activities, maintenance activities undertaken in live condition. So we'll invite all the discoms to participate in that. It could be hybrid. It could be physical. They can come and present and interact with Tim, as well as it will be broadcast. People can join online as well. So we'll plan and intimate everybody. So thank you very much and for joining today's workshop. This is just the beginning. And Mr. Venu, we look forward to working closely with you to kickstart this in the country.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tim. It's